Yo, what's up, y'all? This is your boy Chicka 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 Changsta, and I'm going to talk to you about inflation adjustments in the box office at movies. Now, I look up this stuff a lot online and I read up on it because the movies and the business of movies interests me. Now, this is my problem and issues with adjusting for inflation just based strictly on raising the ticket price and number of sales. Because see, for example, let's look at what they consider the top grossing movie of all time, Gone with the Wind. Now, they're just raising the ticket prices and then saying it sold the most, when factually it only sold about 300 something million US at the box office. Uh, Now they do this because ticket prices were cheap, but they also forget to factor in that would that film, if it came out today at today's prices, still sell the same? Because you look at Gone with the Wind, if it came out today, like I think it would bomb. Because with today's audiences, they have so much choice, it would be boring to them. Because, like, think about it. Gone with the Wind came at a time where it was very racially segregated. The film industry was like on another level of racism. You know what I mean? They didn't want anyone but white people working in the film industry. And do you think today's audiences would be okay with that? Like, do you think they'd be okay with Hattie Daniels' portrayal and what she got paid for her job? People would probably boycott the movie, and also even without that, like I don't think today's audiences would find it interesting because look at all the competition today. It isn't like strictly where it was only white people allowed to make movies. They were the leads and everything. They all got all the big parts. Only they were writing for movies. There's so many different characters. There's filmmakers worldwide. Like, if it came out today, it'd be going competing against Black Panther, um, another one of Dwayne Johnson, The Rock's movies, um, Spider Man, Deadpool, Jackie Chan movies. What else? Then there'd be the horror movies like A Quiet Place or Get Out by Jordan Peele. Like, it have so much competition, and people today's audience would have a choice of seeing something action packed or like a drama rom com kind of thing with lots of racism in it. You know what I mean? Like, it's very slow. Like, I know film opinions are subjective. I've watched part of it. Like, I've watched about the first 10, 15 minutes of Gone with the Wind, and I didn't really get into it. I'll probably eventually finish it just to give a full review on it, but I'm not really feeling it at this point. Like, I'd rather watch something with action, you know what I mean? So that's another factor. And another factor is Gone with the Wind was allowed to stay in theaters for 4 years. Do you honestly think if it came out today at today's prices, it'd be allowed to stay in the theaters for 4 years? You know what I mean? Even the top grossing movies like Star Wars, Black Panther, The Dark Knight, the Batman movie, Wolf Warrior 2 from China, you know what I mean? None of those movies stayed in the theaters for 4 years, and they sell a lot of tickets, you know what I mean? And you consider that factor, like, would Gone with the Wind stay in the theater for 4 years? Like, I don't think so. Like, I think, honestly, today's audiences would find it boring, they'd find it kind of offensive, and it's kind of long with no real action, you know what I mean? Like, arguably, like, the ones they adjusted for inflation, like Star Wars or Titanic, Avatar, those movies, like, you could argue and debate that it could still sell well and be good with audiences today. But those other movies, like Gone with the Wind, and those other ones that adjusted for inflation, it doesn't take into those factors, and it's not an honest calculation. You know what I mean? Because factually speaking, Gone with the Wind only sold about 300 something million. It came out today. It wouldn't stay in the theaters for 4 years. It'd probably bomb. I don't think audiences would like it. It'd be boring to most audiences. And that's about it. You know what I mean? It worked for that time. You know what I mean? When it came out, like, even though Hattie McDaniel was nominated for an Oscar, I think she won. I have to double fact check that. I don't know off the top of my head. She wasn't even allowed to sit where she wanted. She had to sit in a designated colored area. You know what I mean? Like, if I lived in that era and I was nominated, I'd have to sit there too, and I wouldn't be allowed to debate and argue which job I should get, what I'm qualified for, if I get to screenwrite or direct. They'd just be like, go sit with the. I won't say it, but they'd probably just use racial slurs. You know what I mean? And there'd be a threat of violence if I just sat where I want. Like, they'd be like, oh, you are not white, you can't sit here. You know what I mean? So there's so many different factors that people don't look at. You know what I mean? Like nowadays, that film would be hard pressed to make happen. You know what I mean? Like there's competition. It's like a different time and era. Like sometimes people like when they're doing these calculations, they gotta look at other factors too, and then estimate based on that. Then we can talk about adjusting for inflation in the top movies based on that. Because if we're gonna be honest, we gotta be honest. You know what I mean? So that's the end of my rant. Peace.